So this is the Nintendo collection. I got a lot. Start out with my favorite game of all time, Earthbound. Been a fan of this game since I was like 5. I remember my friend just bringing it over one day and we were playing it, and it's been burned in my head ever since. And the funniest thing about this is it still has the $17.99 sticker on it that I bought it for. Nowadays I think it goes for like $300, $350 according to price charting. Yeah, love this game. Mystic Quest. A lot of people hate on this game. Me and my brother, we actually got this game from someone who was babysitting us when we were like 6 years old. And he was like, oh man, this game's too hard. I don't understand it. But we were able to beat it. That guy's just an idiot. I don't know. It's the easiest RPG of all time. Toy Story. Good game. Really hard game. Donkey Kong Country 3. Oh well. Probably my least favorite of the original trilogy, but at the same time, it's a lot of fun to go back to now because, like, if you 100% this game, you can actually get a helicopter and then you can find, like, a magical banana bird. I know you're probably being like, what the f is that? But yeah, no, this game, all 3 are really good. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, I believe this was a launch title for Super Nintendo. Very hard game, but cool to have. Fun game. NBA Jam, classic. Yellowing on that. I don't know if you could play as Bill Clinton in this one, because I know in one of them you could play as Bill Clinton. Ken Griffey Jr.'s Winning Run. Actually, like, I'm very nostalgic for this game. Me and my brother used to play this all the time. We always thought it was really funny whenever you strike someone out, like there's a chance that they'll just take their bat and snap it in half. It's a very low chance, but whenever it happens, we would always crack up. And I actually miss sports games like this because I remember I had a friend come, like I would just have friends come over and we would just play this game because it's like you could explain how to play this game within like 5 seconds. Nowadays, every sports game has to be a simulation, and it's like, it kind of just make a toy, make a fun toy of a game, you know what I mean? They don't do that anymore. F-Zero, good game. Home Alone. Home Alone. This game sucks, but I love this game at the same time. I've beaten this game many times. I used to borrow this game from one of my friends growing up, and yeah. Good game. Not really. Super Bomberman, great game. This is like probably my favorite of all the Bomberman games. I remember growing up always seeing this game in like the big box at video game stores because I'm pretty sure it came with like the 4 score that allows you to play 4-player. Bomberman rules, especially this one. It's like just good fun. Mystical Ninja, very hard game. I never got to play this one too much. I got this one later. Cool to have though. Yeah. Kirby Superstar, the greatest Kirby game ever made. Sorry, it just made me think of another story involving Nesto that kind of pisses me off to this day. So this is, again, the best Kirby game ever made. I was sick one time as a kid, and I went and I rented this from the game store, and Blockbuster. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun to go back to. Kirby's Dream Land 3 is also really good, and I don't think I have that one because someone, this guy over here, Nesto, he had a copy of it, and he sold it instead of offering it to me, which I would have bought it off you, but you didn't even offer it. And now it's like a $150 game that I would have bought off Ernesto, but no.
Time has passed. One was gone.
Earthworm Jim 2, weird game, fun game, really hard game. No idea who S. Purcell is. This one's good. I like the first one more. Really funny. Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim. I used to have like action figures of Earthworm Jim growing up. Another really hard game, but it's a lot of fun. Earthworm Jim is just one of those characters that just kind of died over time. I never got the chance to play Earthworm Jim 3 or 3D, whatever you want to call it, but love this game. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. This game rules. Super hard, but I remember I got this game, I think, for like my 8th birthday, and I love this game. It's got really cool co-op, but I remember as a kid, my brother never wanted to play co-op with me in this game because I was an item hog and I would just get every single item and then he would just be left with work done. And I would have like tomatoes, grenades, or soda grenades, like, yeah. Awesome game. Can't recommend it enough. Super Mario Kart, awesome game. What needs to be said about Mario Kart, you know? One of the greatest games ever made. Greatest platformer, for sure, in my mind. I don't think it's been topped. Maybe some would say Donkey Kong Country 2. That could be argued. But Mario World 1 is just classic. Speaking of Donkey Kong Country, this is the very first video game I ever owned. And this is still the same copy too. I just remember I was taking a shower and my mom just like knocked on the door super hard and she's like, Jack, get out of the shower, we have Nintendo. And I was like, what? And I go out and yeah, sure enough, Donkey Kong Country. Oh man, and I just remembered. So back in the day, whenever you would buy used games, sometimes they would come with like a complete file on it, you know, where you had access to every single level. And that was a godsend for us like little kids. Because when I was like 5 or 6, this game was hard as shit, you know. This copy, it had I think it was a rental copy, and it had every single level like already unlocked. For whatever reason, my mom went and took it to the game store for them to erase the save file. And so I came home from school one day and the game was cleared and I was pissed. I was like, Tetris Attack, one of my all-time favorite puzzle games. Underrated. Top Gear. Ooh, Top Gear. Really good racing game. This was one of the first games that I ever owned on Super Nintendo, and it still holds up. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like Outrun. Yeah, good. Very simple game, but that's all you need. SimCity. I still go back to this game all the time because I've never actually gotten the Megalopolis, which is 500,000 people. I've got a file right now where I believe I've got 489,000, so I'm really close, but I can't get that last 11,000, and I have no more room. That's one of those things. I don't know if I'll ever actually do it, but I've put so much time into the Super Nintendo SimCity. Super Street Fighter 2, in my mind, it's the greatest version of the greatest fighting game. I feel like after this, they started adding like combo bars and all this kind of stuff, like gauges that don't need to exist. Like, just keep it like that. Super Strike Eagle, another game I had as a kid. My dad was an F-14 fighter pilot, so when he saw this game, he had to go ahead and buy it. Just loves flying. So I just remember always watching him play this one. Really hard too. Mega Man X, never played this game in my life. Yeah, I have nothing to say about this one.
That's a lot.
No, I've beaten it. I love that game. It's the only one that I have though. It's like I've been trying to find Mega Man X2, but 2 and 3 are both really expensive. 2's not as expensive as 3, but 3's like $200 and it's like, eh. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, one of the greatest games of all time. This might be my favorite Zelda game out of all of them. I remember playing this when I was a kid. This was my first Zelda game, by the way. Turtles in Time, awesome. One of the best beat 'em ups of all time. Mortal Kombat 3. This is probably my favorite of the old school Mortal Kombat games to go to and play with friends, because who the f*** is good at Mortal Kombat 3? You know what I mean? It's like you meet people that are like, yeah, I'm good at Mortal Kombat 2, but 3, it's got a run button. I don't know. This one's a lot. I don't like the fighting games like Blaze Blue, where it's just like if you own the game and then you have a friend come over and you try to play with them, you're gonna kick their ass 100% of the time. It's like, no, Mortal Kombat 3, I feel like everyone's kind of on an equal playing field, you know? No one, who's good at Mortal Kombat 3? I don't know. I'm sure someone out there is just like, what the f-? Madden NFL 97. It's actually a good game. Grew up playing that one a lot. NBA Live 97. Another really good game. Again, old sports games, they used to make them fun, and nowadays it's just like they're not fun. They're simulations. Top Gear 2, not as good as Top Gear 1 in my mind, but it's really cool because you can like customize your car. Good game. Yoshi's Island, oh man. So when I was like 7 years old, I really wanted to get this game, and I remember going to Funko Land at the time, and I was like, I don't know, I was a stupid kid, and I was asking for Yoshi's Island, and the dude was just like, oh man, but if you get this game, you get 4 in 1, and he's talking about Mario All-Stars, so of course it's like the big cool kid talking to me just and convinced me to get Mario All-Stars instead of this, and it's like, at the end of the day, I'm glad that he did that because those games are legendary in their own right, you know, but this game's so expensive nowadays, I'm just like, well, it's not that expensive, but this is like Super Empire Strikes Back. This one is in great shape. I'm gonna get this one graded pretty soon. I never had this one growing up, but I had Super Star Wars growing up. It's really hard, but I actually got pretty good at it. This is said to be one of the hardest Super Nintendo games of all time, and I'd agree with them. If you can even get to level 3, like, you're a god. Pilot Wings, good game. Pilot Wings 64 was more fun in my mind. Mario Paint, classic, good game. I never could beat the Fly Swatter game, but it's cool. Super Punch-Out. This game is a freaking blast. I didn't have this one growing up, but I got this one a couple years back, and I swear for a couple months I would just continuously just turn on my console and try to like speed run every single enemy in this game. fighter, I guess you could say. Wish I had this one growing up. Really cool game. Still holds up. That's something that Nintendo needs to do. The Switch is awesome, but why have they not re-released the Nintendo Wii Punch-Out on the Switch? I would love that. Do that. Star Fox, I got this one, I believe, for like my 9th birthday from one of my friends growing up. And yeah, it's awesome. I'll never be able to beat this game on hard. The hard difficulty is hard. And I'll never forget, there was one time I was playing this on an emulator on like hard difficulty, and I actually thought that I was gonna beat it, and I got to the last stage, Venom, and it froze. And it was something to do with the ROM itself, where just for some reason, it would just freeze at this one spot. I feel like that was premonition. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. Again, it's hard to say if I think this or Super Mario World which one is the best platformer of all time. It's definitely in my top 5 games, probably of all time, honestly. I got this one for my birthday also. I think I was 8 or 9. I was obsessed with games as a kid, you know. Hardest of all the Donkey Kong Country games, but great level design. And just the theme of pirates, you know. Contra 3, I love Contra. Contra 3 is awesome. Contra Hardcore for Sega Genesis is probably my favorite out of all of them. This one's still really good. Not as hard as everyone makes it out to be. Saturday Night Slam Masters, I actually never really played this one that much. I just got it because I have a 4 score and I know it's 4-player. NHL 97, again, old sports games were fun. Spawn on the Super Nintendo. Not that good of a game, but not a bad game. Got it for $2. Cool. Out of This World, awesome game. Pretty hard. Look this one up. This one, it's weird. It kind of has like a Prince of Persia vibes. Like just in terms of like you need to go real slow, but also it's like you need to get the timing down. Very unique for Super Nintendo. Ultraman, I actually don't even know if I've played this actual copy. I think I found it at a Goodwill. Ultraman's sick. Cool to have. Mech Warrior on Super Nintendo. Cool to have, but this game is hard as for me at least. Mech Warrior. NBA Hang Time. This game, not a lot of people know about this game. It's the sequel to NBA Jam. You can play 4-player NBA Hang Time. Ridin' Trad, it's more riding rules. Not enough shmups on the Super Nintendo. Oh, I do still have it. Firepower 2000. Best shmup on the console, without a doubt. It's got co-op, someone can take control of a tank, the other person's flying around. It's a cool game, really hard. Goof Troop, fun co-op game. Yeah, Goof Troop. Go play this one. It's actually, it'll surprise you. Then we got Disney's The Lion King. This game is a lot of fun. It's really hard, but great game. Back when movie tie-in games were actually really good. And then of course I got my Super Game Boy. What game do I have? I got Hyper Load Runner in here. Oh, I forgot about the Game Boy games. A lot of Game Boy games to go through. And so that's gonna be the end of the Super Nintendo.